Hey there, thanks for tuning in to this episode where we'll be discussing some frequently asked questions about me, believe it or not. Bit of a selfish one, but I do get some questions that are asked all the time, who are you and why are you making these videos, etc. So I thought, why not make a video about it to address everything? The next time I get somebody asking me, I'm just going to forward them this link. Hopefully it does the trick. So let's get into it. Why dentistry? I've made a video about this in the past and I'll kind of summarize it here, but I am quite a financially driven individual. I had a career before this, paid well, but the work was kind of contractual. So I was in jobs, out of jobs. There wasn't much consistency. So I wanted to maintain that level of income, but also while kind of having a consistent job. And I knew that I'd have a 9 to 5 day in, day out. And that's the reason why I chose dentistry, amongst other things, which again, I've discussed in more detail in a previous video. But I do like the autonomy around dentistry to be able to almost manage your own timetable and your schedule. Kind of works in a way where how much you want to put in is how much you get out. Not a typical 9 to 5, but more so it's based on your input. I kind of want to be rewarded for my efforts. So I want to have what I'm given in terms of an income based on my merit, really, rather than just, being awarded a contract, working a 9 to 5 and getting quite bored of it. I think also problem solving and seeing happy patients, it's a satisfaction that you can't really replicate anywhere else. So this is great for me because it ticks all the boxes. The next question is, what did I do before this? So prior to this, I was a national account manager, which has nothing to do with accounting. Everybody thinks it has everything to do with accounting, but the best way to describe it was I was working for a company. One of was Unilever, for example. And Unilever is one of the biggest kind of businesses on the planet. They own things like Ben & Jerry's and Lynx or Dove, so many things, right? And I was looking after Domestos and Sif, which are like their bleach and their air care products for Morrison's in the whole of UK, which is pretty big, right? Worth a few million quid. And I'm basically like in charge of the relationship that they have, so Unilever and Morrison's. So whatever prices and products you see on shelf in that category would have been agreed by myself and my kind of, opposite number on the other side. So whoever was in Morrison's making those decisions will be ticking that off. We'd be negotiating and agreeing things. And I was kind of the guy in charge of managing that customer relationship with Morrison's before it went on sale to the typical public around the UK, which was big. It was quite fun, you get company cars and you get all these benefits and stuff. But again, because it's contractual and you might be working for 6 months at a time, then you're looking for another job, it's kind of up and down. So there's no real consistency there unless you've been in the job for a large amount of time. And the more experienced guys have the more permanent jobs. So well done to them. But again, for me, it was kind of too bitty and I just wanted to get myself into a career that I knew would be reliable. So the next one, where am I from? So I was born and raised in the UK in the county of Kent, which is in the southeast. And for people that don't really understand, I'll try to put a map here somewhere, but it's the closest county to London, so to speak. So if you go down from London, it's kind of the next thing there. Essex is to one side, Kent is to another side. So I'm not from London, definitely not. But for people that ask, I just say I'm from London. It's the easiest thing to say. I've had a lot of experience in London with work, university, family, friends, traveling, etc. But I never say I'm from London because that's not me. But again, it's a lovely place. If you're ever down in Kent, check it out. I'm from a place called Rochester. It's very historic. It's actually very, very similar to Košice in terms of the architecture, the design, and the style of living, I would say. But again, it's a bit more of a satellite town than being London itself. So that's where I'm from. And my parents are basically of Pakistani origin. So my heritage, so to speak, is Pakistani. I speak Urdu and Punjabi as well as obviously English. Next question, nice and easy. How old are you? I am currently 38 as of, this is January 2025, I'm recording this. This question kind of ties in with the last one about the age. Why am I doing this so late? To be fair, again, with what I said right at the beginning, with changing career, wanting something with some consistency, I think as you age as well, you kind of start realizing what life is really about. And sometimes just allowing yourself to get stuck within a career you're not fully satisfied with is just not worth it long term. That comes with a level of maturity, I think, and that kind of push to do this all over again, like go to university and study and go abroad. It takes some guts, and I thank my parents for their patience and their support. But along with that altogether, it was definitely the right decision for me, regardless of the age. And I think I'd do it at any age because it means I'm following my dreams. Okay, next question. Why not medicine? So There's a bit of a shift, I would say, over time in the UK. Medicine was always seen as like, the big fish kind of profession. It's still seen as that in the US, across Europe, and largely all across the world, actually. But in the UK, that's kind of flipped on its head. So especially with how things are being run with our government, the doctors are basically undervalued in our country, and I hate that, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it means that dentists are actually doing very well for themselves, comparatively speaking. So for me to do medicine would have been kind of counterintuitive. So that's the reason why I chose to go with dentistry. I also have friends and family that are doing it, and I can see that the way that they're living life is very comfortable to those of my friends and family that are doctors. So for me, I thought this is the best decision for me to make. And of course, I went with dentistry. Okay, so another question is what my journey is. How did I end up here in Slovakia? And why have I basically been doing this since 2018? So I should have had a degree by now, right? Simply speaking. I started off when I was looking for this kind of European route into dentistry with an agency that basically sold me short. And a lot of people can kind of relate to this, I guess, because I get a lot of messages that would say the same. And I ended up in Ukraine, of all places, and was sold a kipper, something that I might have mentioned in the past as well. It was at a dodgy university. It was basically fake. The degree was worthless. I'd have to come back and do the ORE. I would not have had the right education to do so. I definitely would have crashed and burned. So I kind of left Ukraine and went to Egypt because I thought everyone's going to have to do the ORE eventually anyway, so I might as well go somewhere which is cheap and teach as well. Egypt was kind of on the cards to do that, and that's why I ended up in Egypt for a couple of years. And then the GDC basically said, if you get your degree from the EU, so Slovakia is one of those, then up until sort of 2028, we'll accept everybody's degrees, and you won't have to do the ORE, which is that big exam, which I've made a video on as well. That's probably going to get extended indefinitely, so not to worry. If you're looking to start your EU journey for dentistry, you'll be fine. Anyway, so I ended up going from Egypt, which is actually a very good uni, to where I am now in Slovakia. That's the route. And a lot of my friends that are currently in Egypt that were in my year, this is their final year. So it's crazy how I'm seeing people like I've been with graduating now. So it's nuts. But then obviously they'll have to do the ORE and an internship year. So good luck to them. But I probably will be out in the field at the same time as them. It's weird, but it kind of all works. So I'm happy that I made this decision, and it just means that I don't have to faff around when I'm done with uni. So the question is dentistry what I expected it to be? Now, I would say so far that it's probably a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be kind of boring, or eventually would start getting repetitive. But to be completely honest with you, once you get through those early years, or theoretical years, or the pre-med years, right? Or the preclinical years. Once you get through all of that, which can be quite daunting, it's a step up from A-levels. It's quite ruthless. Let's be fair. A lot of people resit loads of their exams. But once you get through that, that's when things get better. But during that phase, you will kind of feel like, why am I doing this? This isn't dentistry. This is too like medical. This is all, biology and chemistry and boring stuff. You just got to push through those 3 years. But once you're through that, then you hit the 4th year onwards and it's all clinical. And every patient that you see is always unique. And I think that's the thing that kind of keeps you going. You never really get bored of it. Yes, you might see the same processes over and over again, but because it's problem solving and every problem is different, it's really exciting to know that actually I can address this from a different angle and a different perspective. And that keeps things really fresh. So in my opinion, I would definitely say it's more than what I expected. And I expected it to be very boring over time, but really and truly it's keeping me on my toes, keeps me on my feet. And it's part of the reason why I do these videos as well, because I'm so interested in the subject that I kind of want to bring that passion to you as well, right? At the same time, it kind of drives me to be more involved in my WhatsApp community or speaking to people online through Reddit, Instagram, or the student rooms, for example. And then over time, I kind of try to then portray that in the videos I make and obviously the research that I do as well. If you are out there and you are thinking about doing dentistry, then of course, this would be a great decision for you to make. But just be warned, it is a long journey. First few years can be quite boring, I'll be honest with you. And then the last few years can be a bit daunting, but it's so rewarding at the end of it. So just make sure you keep plugging at it and you will be very happy with yourself and satisfied with the outcome. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch. And as always, thanks for tuning in and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.